Say, what now? You wrote a book? I don't think I will. Nobody would read it. Listen to this lady here. I just reported her to YouTube, which, of course, I get the generic email. We're going to look into it, and then you never hear back from them. She's called Candice Malcom, and listen to this.
Is all transactional. It is about votes. For his entire tenure as Prime Minister, since he was running for this position in 2015, Trudeau has put the Liberal Party and its electoral interests ahead of the well-being of Canada, ahead of our unity, ahead of our national interests. I wrote a book on this topic back in 2016. It is called Losing True North, which became a #1 bestseller. It sold tens of thousands of copies, which is really unprecedented for a Canadian political book. But there was a lot of interest in it, and the words that I wrote are true. It is still happening. Trudeau has a deliberate policy to change Canada's long-standing immigration tradition, orient our immigration towards intake from the Arab and the Muslim world, and rather than making attempts to integrate and to assimilate these new Canadians, rather than telling them to leave their tribal hatreds at home and to come to Canada and embrace Canadian values, Trudeau has done the opposite. He's told them that they can remain exactly as they are. He's fueled radical Islamists, and he has defended them at every opportunity.
So this lady's cognitive dissonance, like most people who have, thousands of subscribers and views within hours, actually has incongruence at at very high levels, and if Canadians really did read this, the ones that can read and more or less understand, and I don't know how good she would be as a writer, and maybe she's very good, but it doesn't make a difference if she's a good writer if she actually contradicts herself and proves to be the exact same of who she criticizes in that very statement. She is demonstrating this toxicity. So do you know more proof of why I'm the elusive Homo sapien? Do you know how many times I've written comments? If I get a response here to my comment, that's what I'm going to do again. I'm going to say, it kind of sounds like you are challenging me to a recorded Zoom public debate, or you're challenging my views, and I accept. Let's have a public debate. And I put my email, people. I put my email on there. The elusive Homo sapien. Now you would think she has thousands of subscribers and views. The best that Canada has to offer. You would think I'd get a lot of emails. I get no emails. Not just from her or people that make these, but of the followers who have, the toxic tribal traditions of Canadians. So again, it's kind of hard not to see you as the Homo communia and me as the elusive Homo sapien when the data keeps coming in. It keeps coming in that I am the transparent, sentient, and sapient primate who has undergone the maturation process through adversity because of the cultures that I come from, of the species that has failed, that I share DNA with. And this will happen again. And this is what I wrote. I wrote, if True North is a Canadian digital media platform focused on investigative reporting and telling the other side of the story, then do you define this insane misinformation type of reporting to be the other side? Because there is so much manipulation in opinion that I would say about 90% of the information is wrong, or maybe a 70% is wrong, and the other 30% is made to change your interpretation of it. Now that's pretty sick. So let's say she accepts a debate. Do you know what I would debate on? I would just start the first hour on her title. First, I'd say, hey, let's get each other's backgrounds. Like, I want to know why you kind of have these strong views and you could somehow have a mind that interprets them this wrong way about historical events. Okay, and let's say that takes 30 minutes. We introduce ourselves and our histories. Then I would say, well, there's 4 words in your title. Trudeau votes for Hamas. So and I'm telling you, that could go well beyond an hour just by defining it. Hey, do you think Trudeau actually is the one responsible because you're aiming at one person? Now, you mentioned vote. What is exactly the vote, and why do you believe it is a vote that is either pro or for Hamas? Hamas, I usually pronounce it well. And the other thing is why would you actually kind of choose these four words based on how you define your YouTube channel is? And also, if you have more time, let's review the history of Hamas, okay, and where it came from, because voting for this will actually help people from Israel over time. And it's their toxic elites that talk like you do that are actually harmful to their own citizens. Now, do you think that if I challenge her and I give her my email and this is her channel or one of the people that has this channel, do you think I'll hear back? No, because I'm the elusive Homo sapien and your species suffers from HSD at 99.9999% flawed, not working, can't be fixed. There's no institutions to help you fix it.